This is a SandyBoy Productions podcast.
Welcome to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast, where we help women remove the overwhelm of living their most holistic life. This is the place to find evidence-based nutrition tactics, healthy lifestyle and wellness tips, abundance mindset, and easily implementable low-tox living strategies so you can rise up to your full potential and protect your family's health. I'm your host, Stacey, certified holistic nutritionist and better living advocate. Now, let's get empowered with some simple swaps that make a big impact for optimal wellness.
Hello. Welcome back to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. It is episode 62, and I am super excited to have you here. Hey, I hope you're having the best day ever. Before I introduce today's guest, I want to let you know about something that's really on my heart and exciting in terms of the beauty industry, and I want to share some good news. It's March 2022 right now, and as we record this podcast, and it marks the 9-year anniversary that Beauty Counter has been in existence. Beauty Counter is the mission-driven brand that I work alongside to help change the face of the toxic beauty industry, to help get better laws passed, and to help others switch to safer. And I have been doing this for 6 years. Again, the company has been in existence for 9 years. And guess what? There has been 10 pieces of legislation passed since Beauty Counter started its work. This is anything from getting microplastics out of the ocean and pieces of plastic out of the landfill, toxic chemicals out of our kids and children's and babies' products, all the way to a cleaner and safer fragrance act, you name it. I want you to hop over to my Instagram and check out all of the laws that have been passed since we've been doing our advocacy work for the last 9 years. And I also want to invite you to be an advocate alongside with me. This month marks a really special occasion because, again, it's our birthday. And if you want to enroll as an advocate, you can do so. And guess what? You get $153 worth of free skincare if you do and you enroll with a starter set. So all you have to do is click down in the show notes to check it out and message me on Instagram if you have any questions about joining as an advocate. This is a big deal. We need your voice. Every dollar counts. So the more people that can know about clean beauty and safer beauty, the more that the industry will shift to a better place. And again, you are invited. I would love for you to join our team, Team Rise, so we can rise together as a collective and feel more confident in our skin, use clean beauty, and change the industry for good. All right, so today's guest is my friend, Brittany Jaroudi. She is incredible and is changing so many people's lives. Guess what? She runs a plant-based cooking YouTube channel named the Jaroudi Family. She has developed hundreds of delicious, easy, and family-friendly recipes focused on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. She has a master's in education and a certificate in plant-based nutrition from Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. Currently, she is the co-leader of the Pittsburgh Plant-Based Support Group and is the National Health Association Board of Directors. So make sure you listen to this episode because listen, Brittany has been cooking. She and I cook so very similarly, free of salt, sugar, and oil as much as we possibly can. And she has some health. She has some health history and her life has changed because of this way of eating. So just like the beauty industry, we are not protected in the food industry either. I think we know that, right? So this is all about trying to live a more holistic life. And if we can change what's at the end of our fork and what is in our homes and what we put on our body, the world is going to be a more beautiful place. Make sure that you check the show note link to get into Brittany's private Facebook group so that you can start living a more healthy and holistic life as well and eat more plants. Okay, without further ado, here is Britt. Brittany Jaroudi, welcome to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. So let's just dive right in because you are somebody that I came across, I think from Chef AJ. Pretty dang sure that's where I found you. Otherwise, it was maybe in some sort of Colin Campbell group, or I don't know, maybe on a Gregor page, maybe an Esselstyn page. I really don't know for sure. But I found you. I found your family, your channel, and your Facebook page, and was super inspired by your story and how plants have changed your whole life. And I want you to take us down your memory lane of what your life used to be like, what happened, and where you are now.
Yeah, so it was totally different. Around 2016, from 2014 to 2016, I really struggled with my health. I was, around 24, 25 years old, and was already getting flagged for things at the doctor's office, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I had a blood test taken where my C-reactive protein was super high. And so, just being so young and already having conversations with doctors about being on multiple medicines, it really shook me to think, oh my gosh, I have to do something. And then also having a crazy family history of a lot of different diseases as well, really scared me. And so I just happened to be kind of searching for what I could do. And I came across Forks Over Knives on Netflix when I was on Easter break from school. I'm a teacher, and watched that with my husband and just decided to kind of jump right into it. A lot of what Forks Over Knives was going through with their patients and with the director in the movie was the exact same things that I was wanting to change. And so seeing someone else do it and have such great results, I kind of decided to take charge and really change my whole lifestyle. So it's been a few years since then, but it's been night and day to what my life used to look like.
How many years ago was that you made a switch?
I guess we're coming up around almost 6 years now.
Okay. And yeah, Forks Over Knives is like the OG in the documentary world, but like, I don't think that I really need to rewatch it, but I think that is just one of the best, medically forward, evidence-based documentaries.
It really spoke to me. I had, my mom had battled cancer a bunch in her life, a bunch of different times. And my father, his side of the family had a huge history of heart disease. So having Dr. Campbell talk about cancer in the China study, and then Dr. Esselstyn talk about heart disease and, it being preventative. And it really just spoke to me that, I've seen what my family has gone through with all of these different health obstacles, and pretty much was kind of headed down the direct path to those same obstacles. So it really gave me a lot of hope that I could change my health destiny.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about C-reactive protein?
Yeah, so I was lucky. I never heard of that test before, but my husband, through his health insurance at work, they don't offer this anymore, but for that 1 year, they gave us health screening, and on the health screening, our C-reactive protein test was on there. And it pretty much marks the level of inflammation in your body. I had the HS C-reactive protein, which is a pretty good indicator of developing heart disease. And mine came back at a 16, and under 3 was normal. So that definitely really got my attention. And, I then decided to pay for, it's not a very expensive test. I think I'm able to order that lab myself for around $40. Mm-hmm. And I've since got it tested every year, and, through a whole food plant-based diet, it's come way under 3 now. So it really shows you how much inflammation I had before and how I was able to get rid of it with this lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's incredible. And when you started eating more plant forward, was that something that was kind of overnight for you, because you were like, look, this is like what I need to do to change my health. I'm going all in. Or was it something where you stopped eating so many processed foods, and then you went to like whole grain bread, and then you just like made, little change after little change? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, so I get asked this question a lot. Mine was pretty overnight. Of course, like I've had to learn how to do it. So there was that, a little bit of time where it's like, okay, am I doing this right? Making sure I have a balanced, whole food plant-based diet. But it was pretty immediate. Like I instantly knew from that documentary. And from then, after watching the documentary, I bought The China Study and Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Dr. Esselstyn, which then led me to Dr. Greger and How Not to Die and down that rabbit hole of information. And I pretty much immediately knew the processed foods was a no. So that was really easy to get rid of for me. And again, I think it's just because it was kind of like a snowstorm around me. I was watching my mom battle breast cancer. I was watching my dad, I grew up with in and out of doctor's appointments for both of them. I had an uncle who passed suddenly of, heart-related issues, very young. So it was really just like, it was an immediate, hey, I have to do something. I'm going to take action and do it now. I wasn't really like dallying with it. So kind of jumping in with both feet.
Yeah. Okay, good. So your husband, he's also eating this way now.
Yeah. He didn't have anything like specific on, looking back at his blood work, his cholesterol was at the very top of the normal range, but he didn't have anything like always has been a normal weight. He's always had, good blood pressure, all of those things. So there wasn't anything immediately health-wise for him, but I'm very fortunate that he grew up with his background is Lebanese. So he already was eating lentils and beans and things like that, and wasn't so focused on meats. So it wasn't like I was more of the meat eater in our family and more of the traditional, like, ham for Easter and all of those things, where he was not. So it was an easier switch, I think, for him going this way, but it did take him about 6 months of giving up like cheese pizza and things like that. He was still.
I was highly addicted to cheese and dairy. Did he make some switches like to, plant-based cheese pizza? Did he ever do any of those transition foods?
Yeah, so here we don't really have a lot of options where I live, and so if you went to like a pizza place, it's not like a lot of places don't have that. So it was more of just, I started to, obviously, it was easy for us is that I do all the cooking. So he was kind of like not forced into it, but I just was changing our meals. So he was getting used to it. And then, the more and more he got educated, it was like, I just made pizza at home that was plant-based, full of things that were good. And so we'd get like the Engine 2 crust from Whole Foods. That was like the most processed foods that we ate. And then, different toppings, but it was a pretty easy switch for him because he wasn't, making any of the meals. So I just started, he ate what I cooked. So.
Yeah. And I know that you are like an SOS free, mainly whole food plant-based eater, right? Like meaning for our listeners, that's mostly salt, oil, and sugar free. That's something that I transitioned to really heavily. Basically at the beginning of the pandemic, I was like, wow, I feel so much better. Like I was already feeling good, but just reducing the salt, oil, and sugar also makes a really big difference. So is that something that you did right off, like out of the gate?
Yeah. So I pretty much just, again, from doing all the research and different things, when we talk about salt, oil, and sugar, oil definitely was out because it was so pressed upon in the documentary and following Dr. Esselstyn, and Dr. Campbell. It really was apparent that oil was, not great. Eat olives instead of olive oil, eat the whole food. And, through the research, that was a really easy switch for me. I no longer had bought oil for the house. I bought coconut oil only to put on my skin as a moisturizer. And so that wasn't hard for me to do. The salt and the sugar part of it, I found really easy swaps. So when we say salt, oil, and sugar free, for the sugar part, we use dates to sweeten our foods. And so it's refined sugar free. Of course, there's still natural sugars in dates and other fruits. But I found that I really love that. And I make date paste very easily. And, I still can make, we just made banana muffins over the weekend with date paste, and there's bananas in them. And so I find too that your palate definitely changes when you eat the real thing. And so now I really can tell, if somebody makes me something, and they're like, oh, it's whole food plant-based. And then for some reason, there's something that, they might put in there that they don't realize, I can tell immediately how sweet something is. You get really receptive to that. And then same for the salt, blood pressure was an issue of mine, having very high blood pressure. So I was very interested in not using salt and that effect on blood pressure. But through my research with Dr. Greger's stuff, we use miso in some dishes. And so miso is fermented soy, and the soy has been proven to not affect your blood pressure. Just, there's sodium in it, but it doesn't affect your blood pressure or your heart like using table salt. So that's another swap that I do in a lot of our recipes, which makes food a little bit more palatable for people transitioning, taking away that salt, but still giving you some of that flavor using miso. So, I use dates and miso in our recipes, which I find makes food enjoyable and palatable. And, my goal for the channel and making recipes was to make, to give you options to present to your family for them to get on board, because if it tastes like cardboard, no one's going to eat it. Right. And so, and that's the thing about what I love about whole food plant-based is that you can be so creative and make food. I mean, food tastes so good, and the combinations of foods that you might have not tried before. So, yes, we are SOS free, but there are those natural ways that we still get those items into our diet.
Totally. And it makes a massive difference, especially I think that miso is so awesome that is something that we can use to flavor our food. And it's proven to not also contribute to stomach cancer, which salt, thanks to Dr. Greger, he's unveiled that, which just regular table salt can do. So, and they don't really know why, but that there's so many protective elements in that whole soybean that the miso just doesn't cause those issues, which is incredible. So I think that what I've been looking for is pure 100% miso granules, because I think that could really transform our recipes too, as we're trying to help people get off the salt, but still flavor their food. Cause sometimes the paste is hard to manipulate in recipes, you kind of have to water it down a little bit and make it into a smooth thing. But speaking of date paste, I have my formula. I want to know your formula. I call it mine date syrup actually in most of my recipes. And my recipe for that is just 10 medjool dates. I like medjool because I just think they're better. They just are so much more juicy and delicious versus the neglect or deglet, but there's hundreds of different varieties of dates. But if you guys can get medjool, I think your taste buds will be even more happy. I do 10 pitted medjool dates to 1 cup of water. That's not quite date paste, but date syrup that's very thick and delicious. What is do you have our standard recipe for it?
Yeah, I use off of what Dr. Greger used in his book. So 1 cup to 1 cup. And I'm actually coming out with a video. It kind of got pushed back, but sweet paste, which you can use any dried fruit. It doesn't have to be dates. So one of the ways I switch up flavors is using dried apricots or dried cherries, or you can use raisins or figs. And so you can make paste with anything, and it's the same ratio. And you can make the syrup the way you said. So I think, and it's so easy, and we just keep an amount in the freezer and in the refrigerator. So I have it no matter when we need it. And, it lasts forever. I use the Medjool dates. I think they're the best, but it's so fun. And then sometimes we splurge and we'll buy, you can get like wet dates packages from different date farms, and they have all the different varieties. So sometimes that's fun to try stuff that I can't find in the grocery store. And sometimes like that's a great gift for somebody too, especially somebody who's plant-based. Getting them a variety of different kinds of dates to try is always really fun.
Yum. Yes. Oh my gosh. And here's another tip. If they don't sell out again, because during the pandemic, they sold out, but sultanas, AKA golden raisins, I'm sure maybe you've probably tried them. Those raisins are amazing, but like I just made an SOS free sriracha. I am sharing this recipe soon. It's only 3 ingredients. You could probably maybe guess what they are, but it is so good. And I think the secret ingredient is the golden raisins. I can't believe I just said that because I really wanted to bottle it and like not tell anybody the secret ingredient.
Yeah, I think being like, and then having fun with the different flavors and also the different affordabilities. Like we shop at a co-op here in Pittsburgh, and sometimes, different things will go on sale, and sometimes dates can be pricey depending on where you're finding it. So, knowing that you have different options and different flavors to make different things is kind of that's another reason why I love being whole food plant-based, because it's endless options. There's no, people always think that you're giving up stuff, but it's really like, the amount of different vegetables I've tried and fruits and the fun I have with my food. It's just, it's really eye-opening. And after you do it for a while, it just becomes your new normal.
Heck yeah, it does. It's just the fabric of our lives now. It's good. Hey, before we get too far into today's episode, I want to be sure that you remember that you can become an advocate for Beautycounter right alongside me and my team, Team Rise, which is a collective group of women who are pulled together, whether we're moms, working mamas, homeschooling mamas, single mamas, whatever it is. You are invited, and we are a collective raising our voices and helping people switch to safer skincare and cosmetics. You can do this with us. I want to give you a little bit of the details, what it looks like to be an advocate for Beautycounter. So again, if you're a member, it's only $21 to enroll. But if you're not, you can enroll for $50. And if you get a starter set this month, you'll get a free $153 worth of skincare package when you do this. But what being an advocate really does is brings you to the other side of this business, not just as a consumer shifting the market, but as somebody who is helping others shift the market to a safer place and protect their health with safer options. You get paid 25 to 35% commission for anything that you share and sell. And then if anybody decides to join you and join us along this mission and this movement, you're going to get anywhere from 5 to 9% on anyone that joins your team. So that's a really lucrative opportunity, and you can take it and run with it, or you can just have a casual business. It's really truly what you want. In addition to that, you get a 25% discount on everything that you buy, or even up to 100% depending on if you have a pop-up open, which we could talk through more. You also get exclusive pre-sale perks and a community to join that really is band together to just help each other out and to form a community and a sisterhood. And it's really, really beautiful thing. I want to be sure that you don't miss out on it, especially during this month of March, because we have this awesome enrollment offer going on, and you're not going to want to miss out on the free skincare package that comes with your starter set purchase. Just click the link down in my bio. If you have any questions about joining, there's a Calendly link, and you can absolutely have a conversation with me or just DM me on Instagram. And if you're ready to sign up and go all in and do this, hit that join button down in the show notes. I can't wait for you to change the beauty industry with us. All right, back to the show. So it became such the fabric of your life that you decided to make a YouTube channel. You opened up the Facebook group. You have a membership, which, by the way, I joined, and I took one of your blondie recipes and totally made it my own. I've been wanting to make blondies forever, but I I just haven't been able to because they don't really turn out blonde because I'm using like dates, right? Like, or date sugar. So they're a little bit brown, but like, whatever. It's a brown blondie, and you have really, really good recipes, and you've created this membership, you've created this YouTube, you've created your Facebook group. Did that all start at the same time? Like kind of right after you went plant-based? Like, where did that start? Sharing it with others?
So the YouTube channel started about 2 years after I started doing this. I didn't want to jump on YouTube and act like I knew what I was talking about because I was still new. I wanted to make sure like I did it. I saw the results really after I got my everything down to be normal, and I've lost a good amount of the weight, and I felt confident about sharing it. And I really felt like I had read all of the books and understood it. That's when I started to make the YouTube channel. I didn't want to jump on like my first day and talk. And really, I always tell people is that you should go to the doctors, not get health advice from me, who's not a medical professional. I'm just sharing with you what worked and recipes that we loved. But I always point people to the science. So that started me just like starting to share recipes that we've been enjoying. And then, about, I guess when the pandemic started, I made the Facebook group just to give people more interaction with me. And I also started a blog like a little bit after the YouTube channel had started. If you go back, there's like recipes that don't have a blog post. And that's because I didn't expect, and I wasn't expecting anything out of YouTube. So then I started the blog. Then about pandemic, I started the YouTube group. That's a private group that's free. And then in March, it'll be a year of me starting the membership. So I got a lot of response of how people could like help support what I do. As you know, making groceries is very expensive when you're pumping out recipes. And so people, and even like hosting a website and a platform costs money. So people wanted to give back and kind of support what I do. So I started this membership, and that's been amazing, kind of evolved where I can give people out, exclusive recipes that do come out for free, like months and months and months later on the channel. But those are those people who can't wait, that want everything available to them or want to help support what we do, can join. And then this past fall, I started doing ebooks, which I got asked all the time, like what specific recipes are great for weight loss? How did I lose over 70 pounds? And so I put all of those recipes. It's going to be a 3-volume series, but the first and second volume has come out, and those are 30 recipes each, available, on our website and everything for everyone. So it's evolved. It really didn't start off being much. And so I've really just had so much fun kind of growing a community and sharing recipes that we enjoy and helping everyone, get healthier with their families.
Okay, so kind of growing a community is an understatement. Let's just be real, Britt. How many followers do you have on YouTube right now?
I believe just hit over 60,000. So it's been a labor of love. It didn't happen overnight. When I started, I've been doing it for almost 3 years. So it's not like immediate 100,000.
Still, that's incredible. It's amazing.
It's been really fun to kind of watch it grow, and same with the Facebook group, and just reach as many people as possible.
This is life-changing information. This is your I don't know, you could call it a God wink, maybe these health issues, maybe that the forks overnight, like everything transformed for you. And you're just like stepping into, wow, look, your life can change too. And you're just inspiring people on a daily basis. And it's so incredible. And so for anybody that's listening, if you're not following the Jaroudi Family, is that what the YouTube channel is called? Yeah.
Yep. Everything's underneath that name.
Yeah. So, and are you guys like, you're redoing a website, right? Like you're doing a brand new website?
Yeah, we, like when I first started, I really didn't know what I was doing. And so I just picked kind of a website builder, but you learn as you go. And so the searchability for recipes wasn't the best. And, there's little things I wanted to switch, and the builder that I used, the platform just wasn't ideal. So I've switched over to something else. So in this transition period, I think people expected everything to like instantly be fixed. We're updating stuff. I'm slowly moving recipes over, but I left both websites up. So like, we're paying for both. That way people can access the old ones, but all the new ones are out. And we just put new in front of the Jaroudi family for right now. Eventually it'll all just be the Jaroudi family and it'll just funnel to one site. But we've also added grams for those of the people that maybe are in the UK or other places in the world that doesn't use cups, or
that's awesome.
More precision. So that's been a slow transition over for our recipes, but I hope it's,
I feel like this is going to be a fancy, incredible website. Like,
yeah, it's been good. I mean, and then also people like to, the thing is that you can't make everyone happy. And that's a hard lesson I've learned being online. I get emails for, why don't your ebooks have no pictures, and why can't I? And it's just like, no matter what little tweaks that I do, I say we, really, it's just one person. It's only a me team emailing people back, all hours. But, so on the new website, there's a PDF, there's a Microsoft document. People can import it into whatever recipe app they'd like to use. That's something I've tweaked. So it's just, it's trying to appease a lot of people, but it is a hard task, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, just being an entrepreneur in general, which you are, Britt. I mean, like, regardless if you say that or not, like you are, and it's like you're doing it on a mission with purpose, and that's just like so good. Like you can tell that you're not like, I want to start this because I want to make money. No, you started this because you want people to feel the same way and to have a life transformation like that you have experienced, and for people to understand that plant foods can be incredible. And at that, I will just say, I'm like, you've earned another badge on my, like, in my mind, with the SOS free, because that's something that I feel can be like the next layer for people that want to go plant-based. Like maybe you start with the transition foods, and then you go to like, your sprouted breads, and then you go to like all whole food plant-based if you really don't want to have flour anymore. Like then you go SOS free. Like it's just kind of like a journey. But you're able to make really amazing food. And I feel like my recipes are still good too, even though they're SOS free, but like you're really good at it, and it's incredible, and people need to know about it. So it's a whole lifestyle shift. And I just am so glad that you're sharing your gift with other people. So I want to ask you, I don't want to take too much of your time today, and I really appreciate it. Fun fact to everybody that's listening, we had to record this episode twice because the first one didn't download, and that is just part of entrepreneurship. There's always failures like that. So it is what it is. But I want Brittany to go on her merry way and to share with us, if there's anything else that you want to share with us, feel free to do that. But I want to know from you what living a holistic life means to you, because I feel like you're doing that already, but what does it mean to you?
Yeah, when we did this the first round, my answer was power, to kind of regain your power. And I was kind of thinking about my answer that I gave you, and it is true. You can't control everything in life. Bad stuff happens. Even if you try to do a million things right, it can still happen. It's still life. We don't have control over a million different things that happen throughout the day, but you do have control over, your health outcomes a good amount. We have power in what we eat 3 times a day. It's amazing, the research on different things to fight cancer and everything. So, my goal is to, I forget what cardiologist, now I'm drawing a blank, but a plant-based cardiologist made a point to say that, they just didn't want it to be their fault if something bad should happen. And I kind of live my life similar to that. Like, I don't stress out about my health. I do the best I can. I make choices, and it really has given me power back. So I kind of find that, as you do this, the goal is just to do your best to eat as many plants as possible, to realize you do have power over your life, and just to share that. So that's kind of my holistic approach to it.
I love it so much. So good. Take the power back. You've got the power, and you've got the choice, to feed disease, to fight disease, and to change your life. So thank you, Britt. Where can we find you? And if you have any closing statements or anything that you want to share that you have for sale right now, please do.
Yeah, if you just Google the Jaroudi Family, I'm sure my face will pop up everywhere. We have a YouTube channel at the Jaroudi Family, our Facebook group. We have it there. I have an Instagram. Our website is, the old website is thejaroudifamily.com. The new website is thejaroudifamily.com, but it's very accessible if you just Google our name. And right now we have 2 ebooks out specifically on whole food, plant-based, SOS-free weight loss. We also have our membership, which kind of gives you access to a ton of stuff, but more for people that are looking for recipes that we have been coming out with. We have a really great red velvet cake with a cream cheese frosting that's SOS-free coming out this weekend. It'll be out probably by the time the podcast is out. For February. So a lot of great stuff and fun stuff, but my goal is to give everything for free. Like over time, all of the membership, all of the ebook recipes come out for free. It's all super accessible. My goal was not to, make this a second job, but, it's the fruits of my labors.
Too bad, Britt. I mean, too many people want it. Like
it's been a huge blessing for us, but yeah, my goal is still to make everything accessible. So, those of us that, everything will be out eventually for everyone. So I feel really lucky with that business model.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. 2 times in a row now. I appreciate you, and keep doing what you do. You're so amazing.
Thank you.
I'm over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of The Urban Pharmacy. For today's show notes, head on over to theurbanpharmacy.com and be sure to join us inside our private Facebook group called The Urban Pharmacy, where we share inspiration, live trainings, and holistic living tips to help you build community and the healthy lifestyle that you've always wanted. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Before we connect again on the next show, follow me on Instagram at The Urban Pharmacy. That's urban with an H and pharmacy with an F. And I can't wait to hear your wellness journey as we get to know each other better. There's truly no better time than now to level up your life, and I am so proud of you for showing up today. Until next time, be well, Health Crusader.